Buffalo Bills. What's your favorite move that the Bills made?
Yeah, so also kind of sat idly by and didn't do a whole lot, which I think probably makes sense. They have an expensive roster, some guys that still need some money. I think their draft broke pretty well. I think getting Dalton Kincaid and Osiris Torrance in the first two rounds, was kind of exactly what they needed. I know they went out and signed one of the Connor McGoverns, the Dallas Cowboys Connor McGovern, but I think Osiris Torrance, he can come in, kind of lose some weight, get a little bit, more built in an NFL weight room, could challenge Ryan Bates for the starting right guard job maybe during this season. And I think you saw last year with Roger Saffold and Bates, Josh Allen had a lot of interior pressure. He was running around a ton. He obviously had like a historically good season under pressure. We might never see a guy grade that well under pressure for an entire year ever again, but that is not sustainable as we well know. So I think the draft they needed another pass catcher. Yes, the tight end instead of a receiver, but hey, a pass catcher. And then I think getting more guard help, even though you did kind of make your one big signing was Connor McGovern. Don't be satisfied by that. Go get some depth. I think they just addressed their needs pretty well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the last three really, really good seasons under pressure have come from sequentially Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. And two of those three have been followed by the team specifically overhauling the offensive line, like understanding that this is not good. Yeah, it was great at the time that he was able to overcome all this pressure and play out of his mind and, make all these crazy plays, but we need to make sure that never happens again. Let's take the pressure off his plate. Buffalo certainly didn't do that as aggressively as the Chargers and the Bengals did. But I agree. I love the Dalton Kincaid pick in the first round, but I think because we were talking about Osiris Torrance as maybe being a first-round selection for Buffalo, getting him in the second after Kincaid has to be my favorite individual move that they made, simply because of the value. I think if they'd taken him in the first round, nobody would have batted an eyelid. It would have made perfect sense. To get him in the second is just outstanding.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Exactly right. I mean, he slipped because he's 24 years old, I want to say, and his testing was pretty poor. But I think both things you can work through, and you just can't argue with maybe the best anchor as a pass blocker in college football last year among guards. I think he's a guy that can contribute earlier than a lot of these picks. I love Paris Johnson. I think he's going to get bull rushed, onto his backside a couple times this year. I think Torrance is a the quote unquote plug and play type guy.
So overall, that's a B for Buffalo's offseason, an A for the draft, a C+ for their free agency, which obviously was sort of characterized by departures as much as anything else. Losing Tremaine Edmonds, the off-the-ball linebacker, to a monster contract in Chicago. So another generally solid offseason for Buffalo, but as you say, it was generally a pretty quiet one.